if you saw like an influencer, or like not necessarily an influencer, like a celebrity that you found really attractive, and like maybe you were one of their fans, would you approach them? If you were to approach them, would you approach them as a fan and be like, hey, oh my God, I'm a big fan of yours? Or would you approach them as like sliding into their DMs trying to hit? Like these are the real questions that the world should be asking. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Loose Thoughts Podcast, the podcast where I spill my thoughts, where I spill my brains out onto the table sitting in front of me. That sounds very morbid, very gory, but whatever. It's been a month. How have you guys been? No small talk. We're jumping right into it. And I feel like every episode I'm apologizing for the gap in episodes. But this time I'm going to say it. I don't care. No, I'm joking. I do care. But it is what it is. There aren't any excuses except that I'm a stupid, lazy, good for nothing. No, I'm joking. I'm not. And I care about you guys. I care about my lovely listeners. And I know you guys care about the podcast. So I have decided, it's not the new year yet, but this will be my New Year's resolution going into the new year. Let's see how long I can keep this up. But I want to upload an episode. Should I say every week? Should I say every 2 weeks? What should I do? Because recently there was the Spotify Wrapped, and low-key, I don't know. I wasn't expecting to get one for the podcast, but I got one for the podcast. And then all the people that listen to the podcast, how many times am I going to say podcast? Sorry. Whenever I start recording an episode, I feel like I'm in the middle of having a manic episode, but whatever. So, I didn't realize that in Spotify Wraps, you get podcasts. I don't usually listen to podcasts on Spotify. And so when I got my Spotify Wrapped, I'm going through it, and then the Loose Thoughts podcast popped up, and I was like, oh my God, podcasts are in Spotify Wraps. And so when I saw like all my friends and other people, when they were posting their Spotify Wraps, the Loose Thoughts podcast was in their Wraps, and I was like, oh shit, people are actually listening to the podcast. And some of my friends, they were like, oh, your podcast didn't make it because you don't post that often. And I was like, yeah, so you say, you guys are fake, but whatever. So them saying that, I have decided to start posting more often. Hopefully I don't run out of things to say. But that won't happen because my brain is a wonderful place where many thoughts like to linger or roam, which is a better word. Roam or linger. Linger makes it sound like thoughts aren't supposed to be in my brain, but I mean, that's what the brain is for. So let's say roam, because they're loose thoughts. Oh my God, name drop. It's like when you're watching an anime and they drop the title. Anyways, what are we going to be talking about for today's episode? Today's episode is inspired by one of my favorite YouTubers, Jaden Animations. Jaden Animations, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm a big fan. But in one of like Jaden's early videos, she has one where she's just literally talking about random thoughts. Why am I saying this is inspired? I literally feel like a past few of my episodes have just been me talking about random thoughts that I wrote down. And that's literally what Jaden's video is. She wrote down random thoughts, and she's just talking about those random thoughts that she wrote down. And this is what I usually do in my notes app. But I don't know why. I watched that video, and I was like inspired to write more random thoughts down and sit down and record an episode. So if you're happy about this episode, thank Jaden Animations, because without her, I don't know if I'd be sitting right here. I probably would, but I maybe would be talking about something else. And if I made another Pokemon episode, somebody might kill me. So today is the Random Thoughts episode, aka the Loose Thoughts. And so for my first loose thought that I wrote down in my notes app, I wrote, if you met a celebrity you were really attracted to, would you approach them as a fan or as someone trying to hit? And this is a very real question that I have thought about multiple times, because the celebrities that I'm interested in are very attractive. Or I'm very, how should I word this? No, because when I wrote this, I had one celebrity in mind, and he's a singer that I'm very interested in. Like, I really like their music, and I've been a really big fan of his for a long time. And if you know me, you probably know who this is because I've talked about him. Or low-key, I might have only really talked about him to one person. But that's okay. His name is Mukai Taichi Mukai, and he is a Japanese singer. I was going to say genre. I'm not that good with music genres, so don't ask me. I was going to say R&B, which I feel like some of his stuff can be considered R&B, but I don't know if everything could be considered R&B. Or, if you want to be that person, you can just call it J-pop. But he is a Japanese singer, and I'm like so deeply, deeply in love with this man. And whenever he posts pictures on Instagram, I like die a little bit inside. And then I have the thought, like, say I'm in Tokyo minding my business, and I'm in a cafe, and I see him in a cafe. Or say maybe I don't recognize it's him at first. I'm in a cafe. I'm sitting there. I'm minding my business. And I see this very beautiful man in the corner of my eye. And I'm like, wow, that man is so beautiful. I want his number. And because if you know Taichi, I think he's a little fruity. I think he has a little sugar in the tank. But when you're talking about Japanese guys, you can never know. Honestly, I hope I don't get canceled for saying that, but it's the truth. From an American viewpoint, an American point of view, all Japanese guys are a little fruity. And that's just because the standards of what should I say? The standards of masculinity, I don't know, are different in the States and in Japan, because America is very toxic masculinity coded, if that makes sense. Whatever, I'm getting off topic. Sorry if you're a Japanese guy listening to this. You're not fruity. I'm not calling you fruity. I'm moving on. And so that's also why I'm kind of more drawn to Taichi, because he's queer coded. He posts about queer people. He follows queer people. One of his songs is a very popular pride song. And so I'm like, this man has to be queer. Because the signs are there. Anyway, whatever. And so what if I see him in a cafe, or I see a very attractive man, and I'm like, you know what? Even though I would never do this, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go talk to this man, ask for his Instagram or whatever, and slide in the DMs, be like, hey, yo, what up? What's the move after this cafe? And so imagine I get up from my seat in the cafe and I walk over to him. And as I'm walking towards him, I realize, oh my God, that's Taichi Mukai. In that moment, what am I going to do? Am I going to change gears, go up to him and be like, oh my God, are you Taichi Mukai? I'm a big fan. I love your songs. Or am I going to keep the same mode in and be like, hey, yo, lil mama, I'm trying to holla at you. What the hell? And so literally, I like always think about this because I honestly, if it's Taichi Mukai, I don't know what I would do. And it's also because like I don't know if 100% he likes boys. And also me, like if I find someone that's attractive in public, I'm not going to go up to them at all because I'm shy. I remember one time in college, there was this Chipotle by my campus, by my university. And I thought I almost called her a bartender. That's not what they are. She just worked at Chipotle. She would be the one putting the stuff into the burrito bowls. And I thought she was so cute. I don't know how to describe her. She had purple hair. She had a really cute eyeglass frames. And I think her nose was pierced. And she had like a beauty mark, a mole on her cheek. And I don't know what it is, but I like really like moles. That sounds so weird. But like if someone has moles or like freckles, I really like freckles too. If someone has moles on their face, then they're like 100 times cuter to me. I'm like, oh, they're so cute. And I love a good pair of glasses. And like I'm fine with nose piercings. I don't have a lot to say. Usually I don't really like facial piercings, like eyebrow piercings or lip piercings, but nose piercings are fine. I feel like they're cool. They're edgy. Not edgy. Are they edgy? I don't know. But whatever. Moral of the story, I thought this girl was really cute, but I'm not going to approach her because I'm insecure and I hate myself. No, I'm joking. But I don't know. I'm just shy and I fear rejection. I fear rejection really bad. Like, if I'm, how can I say? I will like keep myself up at night fearing rejection or like making scenarios in my head and like where I'm rejected and I'll be cringing so bad. I was going to say something else, but I don't know. I've probably said it in a past podcast episode, but I'm not trying to get the Loose Thoughts podcast taken down. You know what I'm saying? So they make me thinking about rejection makes me want to do bad things. And so I'm not usually the type to approach someone that I find attractive in public. And that goes even more for when it's a guy, because with guys, you never know. Even if they outwardly appear as fruity, they might not be, and they could be aggressively homophobic. And so I don't want to go up to a guy I find attractive and like hit on him and the guy become angry. Like I don't want him to be like, what the fuck, bro? I'm not gay. Why do you think I'm gay, bro? Like, miss me with that gay shit and like want to fight me, because I would probably start crying, and I don't want to cry. The fuck. And so yeah, and so if I see Taichi Mukai or like any other celebrity, because like what other celebrities come to mind? Like, I don't know, like a K-pop idol that I find really attractive. One who's my mind blanked, but whatever. A K-pop idol I find very, very attractive. He's from P1 Harmony. His name is Intak. Oh my god. I need that boy so bad. Like, should I be saying that on the podcast? You guys are going to be seeing a different side of me today. But the thoughts are loose. like the title implies, this is a Loose Thoughts podcast. This is a safe space. So I hope you recognize that I'm opening up to you. And I hope you appreciate that. And I hope you accept me for who I am. Anyways, InTalk. I love InTalk so much. Let me see if I can find it. I feel like I had a list of idols that I really like. I don't think it's in my notes app, but I feel like I've definitely texted this list to my besties. And I won't say what the list is, but I'm searching the word train in my messages. So if that gives you an idea of what I said in the DMs, and if you don't know what train means, then sorry. That you my sweet summer child. Oh, Ricky from ZB1. But no, if I saw Ricky in a cafe, I do not think I would go up to Ricky. Ricky is like pretty. Like Ricky, he has the type of face that men would go to war for. Like back in the, I don't fucking know, 400s, 1600s. When did people go to war? Bro, I'm not finding this message. Okay, maybe I shouldn't search train. Let me search Ricky or InTalk and see if that message pops up. Nope. Only messages with... Oh, I found it. The text message literally says, that's reserved for the ZB1 and P1H trains. Ricky, Jiwoong, Gunwook from Zero Base 1. Oh, Ermagerd. Kehoe. I said P1 Harmony is so scrumptious. You know what? That's enough of reading these text messages. Anyways, if I saw InTalk. Anyway, moral of the story. To answer my own question, would I go up to them as a fan? I don't think I would. I think I would go up, shoot my shot, try to hit, and then if my shot misses, then I'm ceasing to exist from this world. Because a lot of people, I feel like when people become celebrities, they're like, oh, I wouldn't want to date a fan. Like, I don't want to hook up with a fan. I don't want to blah, blah, blah. A fan. And so, why would I ruin my chances by admitting that I'm a fan? You know? But then, is that like lying? Like, imagine the scenario. I see Mukai Taichi. I see him at a bar, in a club, at a cafe. I slide, I shoot my shot, and we're dating now. When, or like, do I confess that I was actually a fan? Is that crazy? Would I be seen as like a crazy stalker fan? No, because I'm not stalking them. I just ran into them at a cafe, right? Like, do I ever confess that I'm a fan? Or do I play it off? And like after we're dating, I'd be like, hey, I started listening to your music and I really like these songs. And so I added them to my playlist. Just don't look at the date that I added them. we started dating in like 2025 and I have playlists from like 2020. He's like, what the fuck? But like, would that be a deal breaker? Well, I guess it would depend on the person. Like, maybe if I was like normal about it, but clearly this isn't normal. Like, are these thoughts normal? Guys, please validate me. Are you validating me? I hope you're validating me. These thoughts are so normal. Like, I'm normal. I'm a normal human being. So yeah, to answer my own question, I would not go up to them as a fan. I would go up to them and be like, hey, yo, what are we doing tonight? Like, can I get your number? Or no, I wouldn't ask for a number. Why am I talking like this is a real thing? I would slide. I would shoot my shot. And I wouldn't miss because I'm a baddie. No, I was gonna sing a song, but then a song didn't come to mind, and so I just said baddie like that. Anyways, lately I've been having like these really weird dreams, and like I don't even know how to describe them because like thinking about them right now, I can't really remember the details of any of them. I just remember that they're like really weird and like they have like people that I don't even know. Do you ever have dreams with people that you've never seen before? What does that mean? Because I did a paper about this in my freshman year of, I was going to say university. What's the difference between university and college? I don't know. And my first year, I went to a junior college. And so it was this rhetoric class. And I did this research essay on dreams. And then from that research, which I don't know, dreams, they're, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. You have a lot of different people saying different things about dreams. Things like, oh, dreams don't mean anything. Oh, dreams are subliminal. Oh, dreams are like messages from spirits or whatever. Or dreams are just like your brain trying to process information. And I think one of the resources that I had used was like, oh, dreams are just like processing like the information from your brain. So like, say if you watched a movie about something that day and then you go to sleep and you have a dream about something related to that movie, then that's just like your brain processing the information you took from the movie. And so a lot of the times your dreams will have people that you interact with, people that you see in your daily life. So like, for example, some of my coworkers have popped up in my dreams, obviously my friends, blah, blah, blah. But have you ever had a dream where it's like people you don't know? Like that, I think that's so weird because how the fuck are you here? Like, how are you in my brain and in my dream right now? And I think some people might say that it's just like your brain might be compiling different features of people's faces like all together and like slapping that on a face. And so it might just be like a compilation, a mashup of people you know, and so you can't discern it, and so they just look like a stranger. But I don't know. And so I've been having a lot of weird dreams. But this one dream I had, I think it was last week, and I woke up really mad because it's kind of a silly story. One of my friends was in it, which is like a really good friend, and I'm like low-key I'm a little bit in love with him, but that's a secret and I'm gonna keep it. Anyways, let me try to recall the details. I can't remember. Oh, we were going through like this type of museum, and we were just like literally like walking around, and it was one of those dreams where it like starts off as something else and then it like morphs into this dream. So I believe the start of the dream, I was in like a movie theater and I was with like a different group of people. I was like with a group of people, like several people. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying before, because I don't think I knew any of these people. And I remember we were looking for like a club room with that group of people. And then the dream shifted into me walking around like this museum type thing with this friend that I'm in love with. And so it ended up to a point we were at like kind of like a foot bath type area. It was like a foot bath, or it was on like a type of coast or whatever. Because I remember there being water, and I remember people taking their shoes off to put their feet in. And so we were sitting down on like, I remember it being kind of like a fluffy surface, maybe like sand or something. And we were sitting there, and this friend is Japanese. And I'm black. This That sounded so random, but it's important for this other part in the dream. And so me being black and my Japanese friend are sitting there, and then next to us is another interracial couple. I'm gonna say couple because they were a couple, and then maybe they assumed me and my friend were a couple, or we like looked like a couple or whatever. But it was a black girl and an Asian guy, a Japanese guy or whatever. And so we were like talking, and I can't remember if there was like a specific topic, but I just remember we were talking, and then my dream did like the shifting thing again, and like now instead of another interracial couple, it was a black girl and a black guy. And then they were sitting next to my friend, and then the guy and my friend were like talking, and then I don't know if I was getting like possessive or like jealous, but I was kind of getting like a little bit annoyed. And then my friend, for some reason in the dream, he had two phones, and then he had like a regular like newer iPhone, and then he had like an older iPhone 6, and then he dropped his iPhone 6, and then he like picked it back up and like was like holding it up, and he was like, Zion, don't worry, it's not broken, I picked it up. And I was like, for some reason in the moment, I like saw like the rinky dink iPhone 6, and I was like, bro, like put that away, like people are gonna think you have two phones and like think you're like a drug dealer or something. And I noticed that the black guy that was sitting next to him was just low-key, now that I'm saying this out loud, this sounds really bad, because why did I assume, or like why in my dream did I make a black guy a drug dealer? Don't cancel me. This is just a dream. Who knows what dreams are? They're fake for all I know. This is a simulation. Anyways, I noticed the guy, he noticed my friend's iPhone 6, and then he kind of had like a look on his face, and I think that's why I was like, oh my god, they're gonna think he's a drug dealer. Which, that's actually even worse, but whatever. And so he put the iPhone 6 away, and then this other guy, he started getting like really close to my friend. Like they were sitting down, we were like sitting on the ground, and like they were like on top of each other, like they were like linking arms and like linking legs, and like homeboy was like literally like sitting in my friend's lap, and I'm like sitting there like watching this, getting very irritated, because I'm like, and like I said, because I'm low-key in love with this friend, and so I was like, in my head I was like thinking like, what the fuck, like why are you all over my man, blah blah blah, like get off my man, who the fuck are you, what the hell? And then something happened, and then the guy, he was really close to my friend's face, and I think he was like whispering in his ear. I don't remember if he like said something about a drug deal, but I think it was that. And then, but in the dream, I didn't. This is so weird, because in the dream, I don't think I heard that it was a drug deal, or maybe I just thought it was a drug deal. And I was like, oh my god, what the hell? And then the guy, he like kisses my friend on the cheek, and that like made me so mad. It made me so mad that I woke up. And I literally woke up mad. I woke up, I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, wait, that was a fucking dream. That sounds literally insane. I sound like an insane person. But I've literally been having like such weird dreams like that. And like, I don't know. Why am I dreaming this type of stuff? Like, in the essay, I remember writing, like, do dreams mean something? Like, and like low-key, sometimes I be having deja vu, and I feel like it's from my dreams. And so are my dreams premonitions? Is this gonna happen? No, drugs are illegal in Japan. This can happen. Just because they're illegal doesn't mean people don't do them. Clock it. But that's crazy. If this dream comes to fruition, if this dream happens in real life, I'm a psychic. I am gonna start, let me get some tarot cards. I don't know. I'm gonna start telling the future. I don't know. I'm what's the word? I'm going to monetize. I'm gonna monetize that, I'm going to profit off of it. Is there a proper saying? I don't know. This is editing, Zion. I think the proper saying I was looking for was capitalize on that situation. Okay, I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. Bye. It'll probably come to me later, but I'm going to make as much money. I'm going to scam people. That's fucked up. I'm going to scam people. I'm going to become a scammer, and I'm going to evade the police, and I'm not going to be thrown in jail. I'm going to scam the police too. The fuck? Nobody is escaping my grasp. So the other day, I met this really weird guy on Hello Talk. And if you remember one of my past episodes, I think I talked about it in my Japan episode. Hello Talk is basically a language exchange app. And so you can type in whatever language that you want to learn, and then it'll kind of show you native speakers of that language. And so when I came to Japan, I found out about this app, and then I used it to make friends or to find friends. And then some of my Japanese friends I've made are from Hello Talk. And so that was like, 2 years ago? And so I haven't used it a whole lot recently, but sometimes I'll just open the app. Like if I'm bored, I'll open the app, see like what it'll show you, kind of like a timeline of posts, kind of like Twitter. And so people who make recent posts, like those pop up. And so sometimes I'll scroll through those or scroll through the accounts that they want to show me and just see who's there, who's online, who's making whatever posts. And then sometimes I'll message people. I don't know. I don't really do it anymore because some of the people that are on there are crazy. Or also sometimes people just don't respond. Like, I'm going to be honest, people don't respond. Or sometimes they'll respond, I'll talk to them for like a day, if even that, for a few hours, and then I don't respond. There are some people in the app who I've like never responded, or not necessarily never responded to, but we have like talked for like a few days, and then I just stopped responding because I don't know. Most of the people live in like Tokyo, and so I don't know. I kind of want to talk to people. Like I want to like meet people that I can actually hang out with. And yeah, like if I go to Tokyo, I can hang out with them, which I've done a couple of times, but I also have no current plans to go to Tokyo anytime soon. And so I don't want to keep like talking to these people if I don't intend to hang out with them. Does that make sense? I don't know. And there's a feature that lets you like search for people in your area or in like nearby towns, but that's only like a paid VIP feature, which I've paid for VIP in the past before, obviously, because I want to make friends in my area. But like now, I don't know, I thought about it and I don't really want to pay for VIP again because I feel like I'm not gonna use the app that much. And yeah, if I pay for it, maybe that'll incentivize. Is that a word? I'm making it a word. I feel like that would incentivize me to use the app more. But then at the same time, do I want to use the app more? Not really. Like I'm already not responding to people. But whatever. So I'm doing my monthly assess of the app and the people on it. And I come across this guy. I think one of his posts popped up in my timeline and he's like playing the guitar. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I like me a guitar player. Let me stop. But no, he was playing the guitar and I was like, oh, that's cool. And so I clicked his profile and then I read his bio, and his bio was like, hey, I came back here and made a new account. Lonely ? Then we can hug and be friends. And I was like, oh, haha, that's quirky. Whatever. And then I closed out of his account and I went back to scrolling through the timeline. And then I don't know why, but I like thought about it again, and I was like, oh, that guy seems like he could be like fun to talk to, blah blah blah. And so I was like, should I message him? And I was kind of like going back and forth about it in my head, because like, I don't know, some people, like some Japanese guys on the app, which this has happened to me before. I think I mentioned it in my Japan episode, but sorry for being redundant. I'm gonna mention it again. But there's a guy, and he was like, "Oh, like I wanna practice my English. Like let's talk in English." And he made like a post, and I commented on it, and I was like, "Yeah, let's practice English. Like let's talk." And then he messaged me, and he was like, "I actually only want to talk to girls." And I was like, "Ooh, this is awkward. My bad, bro." But yeah, you have a lot of people like that on the app, and obviously with that type of bio, I was like, man, this guy's probably like a playboy. He's probably like a gaijin hunter trying to find white girls to talk to. Like, this guy doesn't want to talk to me. But I was like, you know what? For shits and giggles, I'm gonna message him anyway. And like, if he doesn't respond, oh well, I don't fucking care. And so I messaged him, and I was like, let's hug and be friends. Thumbs up. And then, mind you, I'm not expecting this guy to respond. Like, he's going to read this, be like, ew, this guy's gay. And then, like, block me or some shit. But he actually responded, and he responded very fast. And he said, yeah, with like a bunch of A's. And then he sent another message, and he was like, let's do it, hee hee. And I was like, oh shit, he responded. And I was like, let me play it off, and like let me how can I say, like, let me be like a bro. And so I was like, LMAO, at least buy me dinner first, with like an emoji. And then after that, I sent another message in parentheses, and I was like, I'm just joking. And then he responded, and he was like, if I have money, yes, haha. And he was like, you should do something for me, haha. And he was like, JK. And like, if you're listening, this, and I'm like reading these messages, he literally sounds like a stereotypical ass fuckboy. Like, if you ever see like those fuckboy meme TikToks or whatever, like, this is literally how they talk. They're like grabbing their face. They're like, hey babe, haha, like, what are you doing tonight? Like, trying to come back to my place, haha, like, we don't have to do anything though. Like this is literally how he's talking. And I was like, what the fuck? Should I just read you the chat log? I don't know if it's that long, but I was like, hey yo, blushing emoji. And then I was like, don't worry, King, I got you, with like the nodding emoji. And he said, I wish I could put screenshots, because this shit is so funny. He said, this is a Japanese guy, or at least he has a Japanese flag on his like profile picture. And so that means he's like in Japan. He made his account in Japan, but this could very well be like a random foreigner guy like trolling. Which low-key in hindsight, I don't know, it could be. I don't know. But he was like, question mark, with like the winking emoji, and like the emoji that's like winking and it's like sticking its tongue out. And then he said, what you gonna do? Sunglasses emoji. And I was like, LMFAO. And I said, and I put the monkey emoji covering its eyes. And and then I sent another message, and I was like, I'll make you a bento lunch for work, with a heart. And he was like, that's cute. And then I said, JK, I can't cook. And in the moment, it was funny to me, because I was like going through the emojis, and I was like, oh, what emoji should I put? And then the frog emoji had a really funny face to me, and so I put the frog emoji. And then he was like, then haha, you should do other things, haha, kidding. And I responded with the blushing emoji, and I was like, you're a pervert, but I said it in Japanese. I don't know if I should say it. Should I say it? I was like, erogaki ya ne. And I put like the little squiggly like dash. And he was like, Nandeyo. And like, it's a kanji. The kanji is like wada wada for like laughing. But if you're like texting in Japanese, people use it as like LOL. So he was basically like, what the heck, LOL? And then he said, Kimi mo ne, with the winky emoji, which like means like you too. And I was like, bro, I'm like deadass just reading this whole conversation. And I was like, with the crying emoji. And I was like, who, me? With the puppy dog eyes emojis. And he was like, you are not? Then I'm sorry. And then he put a wink and I put the laughing emoji. And then at this point, I was matching the energy. I was like going along with it because I was like, what the fuck is happening? And so I put, I'm whatever you want me to be. And I put like the teehee emoji with like the hand covering the mouth. And he was like, what? Haha. Like what? Haha. And he said the sunglasses emoji with the smirking emoji. And I was like, you're funny. And at this point, I was like, okay, like I kind of want to shift the conversation. And so I introduced myself. And I was like, I'm Zion, by the way. And then I said, Nanka kiga ao ne, Nanka kiga ao ne, which means like, we really get along, don't we? Like, we kind of get along. And he was like, I'm Tokyo. And then he responded to the Nanka kiga ao ne. And he was like, ii ne, with like it's like the face emoji and it has like the little hearts. And I was like, Tokyo's a cool name. And I was like, ja, Kyo-chan yobu ne, Kyo-chan te yobu ne, which like, I'm going to call you Kyo because his name's Tokyo, which, I don't know. Are people named Tokyo in Japan? Somebody tell me. And then he like quoted one of the messages that when he said earlier, like the like what, haha, after when I said, I'm whatever you want me to be, and he said like what, haha. And I was like, I didn't answer that because I wanted to change the conversation. He like replied to like that message, the like what, and he was like, tell me, boy. And I was like, the fuck? And then I was like, damn, we're back here. And so I like kept matching the energy and I was like, you tell me, winky face. And then he goes, maybe cuddle me, ? Wink emoji. And I was like, OMG, it's actually really cold in my apartment right now. Yeah, let's cuddle. And he goes, I'd love to. What you want to do to make it warm? And I was like, what the fuck? And I say, you want to be big spoon or little spoon? And he said, big spoon. How about you? I mean, I like to be both in cuddles. And I was like, I like both, so I'll let you be big spoon. And he said, haha, that's so nice. You want to do anything else? Just tell me. Let's make it happen. And I'm like, bro, this guy's persistent. He's like not giving up. I'm like, in my head, I'm reading these messages and I'm like, bro, what do you want me to say? Like, do you want me to be like, hey, yo, let's fuck? Because I'm not saying that. Like, what the hell? Like, the fuck? And so I said, and I'm kind of like teasing him a little bit. I'm like dancing around the subject. And so I was like, haha, it sounds like you want to do something else, with the monkey covering his eye emoji. And he said, I'm open for anything, wink. And he said, tell me, good boy, with the smirk emoji. And when I read that, I was like, what? Sorry if you have a phobia of throw up sounds, but trigger warning, I'm going to do it again. I was like, like, that's fucking nasty. Do not call me good boy. What the fuck? And I was like, good boy, ? Exclamation mark, question mark. And then I was like, I'll do anything you tell me to. Winking, sticking tongue out emoji. And he said, like what? What, with 3 A's? Winky, winky, winky emoji. Hee hee. And then he responded to when I was like, good boy. And he was like, yes. And I was like, with a bunch of E's. And then I was like, taking out the trash or washing the dishes. Because, like I said, I'm teasing him. I'm not giving this dude what he wants. And he said, oh, really homely, haha, but I'll do it for you too. What do you want me to do? And I was like, clean the bath. And he was like, okay, I'll do it, haha. That's it? ? And then he put the the thinking emoji with like the thumb on the chin. And I go, LMAO, teach me Japanese. And he was like, I will, haha. And then I'm attempting to shift the conversation again. And I'm like, do you like onsen? Which, if you don't know what onsen are, that's just like the Japanese hot springs. And he said, yeah, I do. And I was like, oh, let's go to onsen. And he said, yeah, let's do it. And then he sent another message, kind of shy to show my naked. And I was like, bruh. And I was like, LOL, we don't have to. After we become better friends, haha. And then he says, yeah, how can we become better friends? Question mark, wink emoji. And I was like, you're fucking kidding me. Like, I thought I escaped the shackles, and he fucking dragged me back. And I was like, LMAO, back to this crying emoji, or like the laughing crying emoji. And I was like, by cuddling, of course, because that's, he clearly wants to talk about this. And I was like, hurry, it's cold. And he was like, ha 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 ha, where do you live? And I was like, maybe it's far. And low-key, kids on the internet, don't do what I'm about to say. On HelloTalk, they have like a location feature, and so on someone's profile, like it'll show you like where the fuck they are. And so if someone's in like, how can I say, if someone is in like Shibuya ward of Tokyo, on their profile it'll literally be like Shibuya, Japan. And so, but for mine, I took that off because I don't want people to fucking know where I live. And so mine just says Japan. But he says, where do you live? And I was like, maybe it's far, sad emoji. And I was like, oh wait, I can't say where I live. I don't want to say where I live on the podcast. Kids on the internet, if you're texting someone, do not tell them where you live. But I told him what prefecture I lived in. And I was like, I live in XYZ prefecture. And then he responds in all caps. He's like, WTF, that's fucking far. And I was like, damn, what the fuck? Like, it's not that far. And I'm going to dox this guy. I don't give a fuck. He said, I live in Saitama. And I was like, gomen ne. And I was like, OMG, Saitama isn't that far. I've been there before. And he was like, really? Take a hotel to stay and let me go there. I'll give you cuddles, snuggles, anything. And I was like, bro, this guy, is he fucking desperate? What the hell? And I was like, I went there last year for a concert. It's easy to go by Shinkansen. And then I said a city in my prefecture to a city in Saitama. And then I responded to like his hotel message. And I was like, you want to go to a hotel with the blushing emoji? Because like, if you don't know, in Japan, there's such things as love hotels, which are like hotels that people go to hook up for the sole purpose. Yeah. And he was like, oh, Super Arena? And then he responded to my text. I was like, you want to go to a hotel? And he was like, I mean, where are you going to stay then? And then I responded to him saying Super Arena, which is like an arena, not a stadium, an arena in Saitama. And I was like, yeah, I saw aespa. And then I responded to, where are you gonna stay then? And at this point, I'm just like doing this for shits and giggles. And I was like, in Japanese, I said Rabuho, which is just love hotel. And then he responded to the Rabuho, and he was like, then perfect, LMAO. And then he responded to when I said aespa, and he was like, I've never heard of aespa. And then I was like, oh, really? It's a K-pop group. And then I responded to the message where he said, perfect. And I was like, yaba. And he was like, dame datta kana? Which like, I wonder if like that's no good. Like if that's a no-go. And I was like, you know I'm a guy, right? And he said, yes, ha ha ha. I'm sorry if that's bad to you. And I was like, OMG, no, it's okay, with the blush emoji. And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, of course. I was thinking maybe you thought I was a girl. And he was like, are you okay that I'm a man? And I was like, yes, wink emoji. And that I'm getting tired of reading this shit. And basically, I found out on his profile that he came to my prefecture for like volunteering. Low-key, I think that might be too much information. That's kind of doxing. if you put two and two together, you might be able to find out where I live. I shouldn't be saying that. What the hell? Bro, internet safety. I have like no survival instincts or whatever. But he posted on his posts, whatever the fuck, that he came to my prefecture. And I was like, oh my God, you came here? And I tried to change the subject again. And I was like, do you have any plans to like come again? And he was like, no, not really. And I was like, oh, okay, that sucks. And I was like, oh, if I can go to Saitama, then like let's meet up in Saitama. And he was like, yeah, that sounds fun. And then he stopped responding to me. What was the last message I sent? The last message I sent was because we were talking and I was like, oh, like winter vacation's coming up. And I was like, do you have any plans for winter vacation? Maybe I can come to Saitama. Because I was thinking of going to Tokyo, and Tokyo is right next to Saitama. And so I was like, oh, like if I'm in Tokyo and like you want to like hang out, like we can hang out. But he said he's going to Texas for winter vacation. And I was like, what the fuck? Why are you going to Texas? And I will explain my thoughts after I finish the story. But he said, just a trip. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so I was like, excuse me, I burped. And so I was like, we can make a plan to meet after the holiday. And then he said, let's do it, wink emoji. And I was like, why the fuck are you sending a wink emoji? A wink emoji. And so I responded, I was like, I'll think about it. And then he left me on red. And then that sounds so, I sound upset. I'm not upset about it. And then I was like, oh, he left me on red. That's kind of awkward. And so I was like, I wonder like if I double text, like if he'll respond. And so I said like, do you want to exchange lines? Which Line is like the messaging app in Japan. Like no one asks for like phone numbers. People will ask for like your line. And so I was like, do you want to exchange line? And he never responded. And this was Thursday last week. It is currently Monday. And he never responded. And Hello Talk like tells you when people are like online. And so I think on Friday I like opened the app and I noticed it said he was online, but he never read my message. And I was like, bro, that's crazy. And so into my theory, I don't think this was a Japanese person. Or I don't know. I think he was just like some troll. And I don't know. Or like not a catfish, because his face isn't on his profile. Which is also why I wasn't like taking him serious, because I'm not crazy. I know like that conversation might seem like I'm crazy, but that was all for the bit. Like I was matching his energy and I was doing it along for shits and giggles. Like I wasn't being serious, guys. Don't think any less of me. I'm a saint. I'm a child of God. But I think this was like someone's like burner account or whatever, and they're just like messaging people to like talk shit, basically, for like shits and giggles. And I think I was a part of that. And so, no, yeah, I'm not like upset about it or anything, but I was like, damn, that was kind of crazy. I should talk about that on the podcast, because that would make a good story. Like if I was in a Storytime YouTube animator, would I animate that shit? I don't know. If I was a Storytime YouTuber, I might still talk about it, and I would put the screenshots, because I feel like the screenshots are so funny. Like you have to like I was just saying it, but you have to like see the emojis and see the way he was texting. It was funny, which is why I like entertained it for so long, because I'm not gonna lie, I was smiling at my phone reading that shit, because it was funny. Like this random ass Tuesday night, it was funny. I was giggling. It was funny. I'm sorry. Sue me, put me behind bars. for having a good laugh. Sorry, I can't have fun. Sorry. It was weird. Like, I can't talk to weirdos. I'm sorry. Why am I getting defensive? The fuck? But yeah, and I think I'm going to end this episode here. Did you guys enjoy my random thoughts, my loose thoughts? Did you guys enjoy this episode? I hope it was fun. I hope you guys got a little laugh out of it. Why? That was nasty. Next episode, let me not make promises. I should do a segment where I see how long I can keep a British accent going for. I like to think my British accent is pretty good. And mind you, what you just heard, that was not me doing a serious accent. Or was it? I don't know. I don't think it was. It just kind of slipped out. That's what she said. Anyways, that is all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good little laugh with me. And hopefully I won't keep you waiting as long as I did last time. No more month-long waits between episodes. I'm going to lock the fuck in. This is about to be a podcast content farm. I'm going to be uploading 10-minute podcasts just to be getting content out. Let's get those plays up, guys. Let's get those streams up, because next year we are aiming for #1 podcast on Spotify Wrapped. Yeah, I said it. #1. And I'm not going to give up until that dream is realized. I think my voice just cracked. I think that means I've been talking for too long. But okay, if you made it this far, why am I talking like a YouTuber? If you made it this far, I appreciate it so much. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. But for real, if you made it to the end of this podcast, thank you very much. I appreciate your listen. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Love you. Bye. Bye-bye.
And he said, "Tell me, good boy," with the smirk emoji. And when I read that, I was like, "Whoa!"